Greetings Netrunners, and welcome to our look at the new Liberated Mind datapack. Today we'll be looking at the runners cards, starting with the Noble Path. Anarch card, event run, cost of 0, and has trash your grip, make a run, prevent all damage during this run. So if you're up against maybe a Jinteki deck, or one where you know they haven't got any run in the run subroutines, but a lot of damage, this is the perfect run. Because you can just go straight through all that damage, ignore it all, and get to the HQ or outer server that you want. Next we have Emptied Mind. Once again, cost of 0 for the Anarchs. Resource, when your turn begins, gain a click if you have no cards in your grip. So perfect to be played after the Noble Path. Because if you use this to empty your hand, and your turn begins, you gain a click. So a good way to get an extra click there. Next we have Information Setting. Sifting for the criminals, an event run, cost of 1, and has make a run on HQ. If successful, instead of accessing cards, the corp separates all cards in HQ into 2 face-down piles. Access all of the cards in one of the piles. You cannot access any cards in the other pile this run. So it basically lets you look through all the cards in half of HQ. So it gives you a much better chance of hopefully finding the agendas, but at the same time, the court player can try and psych you out a little bit, put maybe all the agendas in one pile, nothing in the other one, and just try and hint towards one of them. Next we have the Shaperers and Out of the Ashes. Event run, cost of 1, make a run. When your turn begins, if Out of the Ashes is in your heap, you may remove it from the game to make a run. So it allows you to make a run, but at the same time you may make a run at the start of your turn if it's in your heap. And you can have up to 6 of these in your deck. So the more you have in your heap, the more runs you can do. It gets removed every time you do it from the heap though, but if you've got 6 of them in the deck, then you're going to be able to keep doing it. Next we have the Liberated Chila. Resource Connection, cost of 0. 5 clicks, forfeit an agenda, so quite a high cost. Add a Liberated Chila to your score area as an agenda worth 2 agenda points. Court may forfeit an agenda to prevent this. If he or she does, remove Liberated Chila from the game. Now, before we look at the cost, let's think about this for a minute. You have to forfeit an agenda. You can forfeit an agenda the court may have thrust upon you that's worth minus points. You could forfeit just a low 0.1, because there are a few out there. Or, if you are just about to win with this, the corp will be forced to sacrifice one of their agendas. So this is really strong. However, the 5 clicks, as we've seen before with the Anarch card there, you will be able to get an extra click that way, or you can use our next card, Temple of the Liberated Mind. Cost of 2, place location Ritzy, resource. 1 click, place 1 power counter on Temple of the Liberated Mind. Hosted power counter, gain a click. Use this ability only once on your turn and only once per turn. So you can save up clicks for later turns, giving you the 5 clicks you need to use Liberated Chila. Next we have the neutral cards, and we have Rebirth. Event, cost of 0. Switch your identity with another identity from the same faction. Remove Rebirth from the game instead of trashing it. Limit 1 per deck. So this just lets you switch up your game. If you've got another identity card that you work with your deck, and you want to keep the corp off balance, you can use this and just switch to the other identity. It wouldn't be any good for some identities to switch to, but switching from would be good for like Andromeda. You start with the extra stuff and then switch out to another one with more use for ability. And then you can also use it to sort of keep the corp off balance, because they may have played their game with your identity in mind, only to then have you switch out on them. So this is going to be an interesting one to see play. Next we have Guru Devinder. Resource Connection, cost of 1. Prevent all net and meat damage. When Guru Devinder prevents at least 1 net or meat damage, trash him unless you pay 4 credits. Now, paying 4 credits is a small price to play to prevent all net and meat damage. Because if you are going up against a Jinteki deck especially, this is invaluable. Just prevent all the damage they can deal to you. You'll need the credits, of course, but at the same time, you don't have to pay it if you just want to use multiple copies of him and keep putting out a new one every time you lose him. Plus there are ways to get him back from your heap. Next we have the turning wheel. 2 credits, resource virtual. Whenever a run on HQ or R&D ends, place 1 power counter on the turning wheel if you stole no agendas during the run. 2 hosted power counters for the remainder of this run, access 1 additional card from HQ or R&D. So the more you don't find the agendas you're looking for, the more chance you've got of finding them in the future. It's an interesting card, and it'll certainly help you find the agendas you want, but since it takes a little while to build up and it relies on you doing runs where you don't find what you're looking for, I think there are better cards out there. Alright, that's all for the runner cards this time. Stay tuned for next time where we'll be looking at the corp cards. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you next time, Netrunners.